Okay, this is a test for audio. Okay, I hope this is in focus. So let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Kaylee and today I will be talking about what to look for in a college and why I chose my school, Chapman. Okay, so before we begin, I just want to say I hope everyone is safe. I know this whole thing is going on, so a lot of people are in quarantine and I myself am in quarantine. I'm home all day every day, but because of that I will be making videos more often. I have decided to just continue making videos and not caring about what others think. Also, sorry if you can hear things in the background. My grandma's like doing stuff in the kitchen. I don't know if you can hear it, but yeah, I will be making videos every week. I plan on posting at least every Saturday. I may post more just because I have so much more time. Like whenever I'm free, I'm probably just gonna make a video because I am bored and it's fun to do. So I have so many more videos coming, but in this video I thought I'd talk about what to look for in a college and why I chose my school, Chapman, because I'm not sure if right now is the exact time and I don't know what's gonna exactly happen this new coming semester just because of the whole situation. I don't know when everything's gonna end. It comes time to enroll in a school not too far from now, so I thought I'd talk about what's important to look for and again why I chose my school. So a lot of the things that I have down are just things that I personally looked for, so there may be some things that I miss out or some things that you might not think is as important, but these are just what I looked for. So yeah, let's just get right into it. I say this is pretty important, just the size of the school in general and like the class sizes. So for me, when I was looking for a school, I personally wanted a school that isn't too big because I wanted to have a closer community and be able to have a closer relationship with my teachers. So class size is so important and having a relationship with your professor is so important, especially when you're trying to get into the field of whatever it is. You just have so many more opportunities and you just build connections that way. Chapman itself is a pretty small school, I would say. It takes me around like max 15 minutes to get through the whole school. Chapman has like a main campus and we have like a separate Dodge College, like a dance building I believe, and like a few other buildings, and those are separate, so you have to go through like a residential area to get there and stuff. But for all of that, I would say the distance like walking is like 15 minutes, or I guess it depends how fast or slow you walk, but I board around school, so if I do that, it takes me like max 10 minutes to get to the furthest location. So Chapman is a pretty small school, and at first I did want kind of a bigger school. That's why I applied to UCs and stuff, and UCs are huge. Like Chapman is nothing compared to UCs like size wise. Since I'm in the film school, when we have like big screenings, we would have like maybe over 100, or I don't know exactly, it might be more or less, but like we separate into classes and those maxes are 70 people, but that's like only one class. The rest of my classes are like 20 students or less, or maybe just a few more. It's a pretty small class, so all the professors know your names and you just get really close to your professor, and this was really beneficial for me because I feel like it makes me more engaged rather than being in a larger classroom. And being in the film school, it's very important to build connections, and having these small classes you really get to talk to your professor and it just becomes easier, and I just think that's very important. So that was like a pretty big factor in why I chose to come to Chapman. It's honestly personal preference, but for me personally, I like the small class sizes, so that's what I love about being at Chapman and being able to build those connections. This one, it depends on your personal preference, obviously. For me, I wanted to stay a bit closer because I am not very good at leaving things behind, but also it's better for me financially because I get more aid and things like that since I'm going in-state. But honestly, I say like if you really want to, going out of state is fine, but just really consider the location of this school because the city itself that it's in could really affect how you feel at the school, and if you're not in the right atmosphere and in the right place, it might make things more difficult to really enjoy school. And I really think that you should enjoy college and really have a great time. So if the location of the school just doesn't really fit right with you, it might not be the best. I chose Chapman because it wasn't too far from my home and it wasn't too close. And I would say the city of Orange is pretty small and there's not too much to do, honestly, but the location of it and Orange County itself, I just really like. It's not too far from LA, so I can come back home whenever, so that wasn't that difficult for me. But I know that if I was in a completely different place, in like a atmosphere where there's like literally nothing to do, I feel like I would feel a lot more different and not as home at the school, and I feel like you should feel like you're at home. So I would say that's important. Obviously it depends on like what you personally feel you need, because some people might want to just leave home and that might be great for them to just be away from what they've been used to. So I'd say that location is quite important. Programs are very important. Don't just look at the name of the school. Like, the school might be great, but don't just go for the reputation of the school. I mean, obviously, if you don't know what you are gonna do, like let's say you're going in as undeclared, just see that they have good options for you and maybe things that you might be interested in. But it's important to go to a school that has good programs, or go to a school for a program. Let's say you want to do nursing, but you go to a school and they don't have that good of a nursing program there. It might not be as beneficial for you in the long run. I'm not saying this is always the case, but I looked that program to be a very important part of why I chose Chapman, because they do have an amazing film program, and when I looked into it, they had so many great opportunities for me. I just really got drawn to it, and once I got here, because the program is so amazing and they have so many different like opportunities and tools for you to just get better and just learn more, and like there's a lot of people who are really passionate about the things that I'm passionate about, it just was really beneficial for me. So I say look at this school for the program. If it's like a really big name school and they have like the programs that you like and that may be beneficial for you, definitely go there. But don't just go to school when they don't really have things that you like, but you just like the school, because you know, school name isn't everything, and it's just more important of like what kind of experience you have and what you learn. And it's not the best to go to a school and not really learn much because they didn't have the best program for what you want to do. This one in particular was very important for me when I was looking into schools, just because I really want to study abroad and I feel like everyone should study abroad. It's just such a unique experience and you can't really get it anywhere else, and I think it's very important to study abroad once. I mean, obviously it's not like something you have to do, but I think it's definitely something you should do. I know when I was looking into UCs have great study abroad opportunities, so that was kind of like a big factor of why I wanted to go. But once I looked into Chapman, they have amazing study abroad opportunities. If you don't know, they have travel courses, semester-long programs, year-long programs, and they have a lot of partnerships with different schools. They have summer programs, they have so many programs, and they really highly push you to study abroad. And depending on what your program is, like I'm in the film program and certain majors in the film program, they suggest you to go at least latest by sophomore year. But because of the programs that Chapman has, I was able to go on my Philippines trip and make a documentary, and it was so cool. I loved it so much. I highly suggest for anybody who wants to study abroad, if a semester is too long for you, do a travel course. It's just great, and I think study abroad opportunities are just very important because it's great to like get different international experiences and see what it's like to be around the world. And I don't know, I feel like it's just different, and it's just such a cool experience that you can't experience anywhere else. It's different from just traveling there because you're kind of living in this new setting and really learning more about the culture in person, and also just learning new things from actually being in the location. I also plan on studying abroad maybe my junior year for a semester. Right now I'm thinking Japan, and Chapman has some great opportunities for that too. So I'd say really look for that in a school too. Unless traveling is just not your thing, maybe it's not as important, but I really think it's important to try studying abroad once because it doesn't come often. And the great thing about Chapman for that is, I don't know if it's like this for other schools, but like all of the aid you get for most of the study abroad opportunities, it'll transfer over as if it's like a normal semester at Chapman itself. If cost is the issue, they really make it great for you, so I really suggest doing it. The cost of the school is so important. I mean, if you can't afford it, you can't go, and it just sucks to take all the loans. I mean, I personally am taking loans right now, but I am not taking as much because of the financial aid I got. And just really look at that for the long run, because some schools don't even give scholarships, and let's say you're going out of state, you don't really get like the state grant, and it just might not be as suitable or as reasonable. So really just look at the cost and what kind of aid you get and apply for scholarships. I applied and was able to fortunately receive a scholarship, and that helped me tremendously. And I applied again this year. If I don't get it, I really don't know what I'm gonna do, but the cost of school is very important. I may be missing some points, but just really think financially of where you're gonna go. Just try to avoid student debt as much as possible. There There may be more things that I'm missing, but this is all I can think of right now. The last thing I have is food. This isn't very important, and this is not something that you really need to consider, but I love food and food is important for me. And I didn't really look much into the food before coming to this school, and I would say that Chapman doesn't have the best options for food. I know a lot of other schools, bigger schools, have like different food courts and things like that on campus, and Chapman doesn't have much. They have like Sub Connection, which is pretty much like Subway, and a Qdoba, which is like Chipotle, and like a few little small places like a bagel place, Jamba Juice, things like that. But the dining hall is sometimes okay, sometimes not. It was manageable for me, and I'm not saying it's horrible. Like, some people really like the caf. I personally didn't like it that much. But the reason why I'm saying look into that is because I ended up spending quite a lot of money going out and just buying a bunch of other food, and it would be great if you can save that money and just eat on campus. But I don't know, if a school has really bad food and you just end up spending a lot of money on other things, it's not great for the wallet. This is just something to consider. It's not very that important, but for me next year I don't have to use the meal plan. I can just cook from my place, so I guess like it's not as important, especially because it might just be the freshman year that you need the food if you're dorming, but kind of consider that. I'm not saying that it has to completely decide where you want to go to school, but just look into that if you want to. I just thought I'd throw this in there because I love food and I think food is important. Alright, so I think this is it for my video. Let me know if you have any other questions or think I missed out on anything, and I hope this was helpful. I don't know, these are just things that I considered, and I mean, you guys probably have things you're already looking into, so I don't know if this is helpful at all, but I thought if anybody wants to go to Chapman, this might help. And if you have any more questions about that, about Chapman or things like that, I'm happy to answer them and help in any way. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will be back soon because all I'm doing is making videos. So see you guys, and yeah, goodbye.